Where's the start button on this crap?
Oh, he doesn't know how to start it. Think Top Gun. Missile. Arm your missile on the shifter there.
Oh.
Yeah! But, I mean, just look at this insane engineering of the exhaust here, which, I mean, just comes right out of the V8, but then out the side pipes there. Look at the welding and the insulation here. Yeah. I mean, this looks like something that would have been in the space shuttle. I mean, the quality is just ridiculous versus the AMG is a little more factory assembly line.
Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube. And today is Mercedes A-Service Day. Both of my rare Mercedes Halo cars are in need of their regular A-Service. My 2011 Mercedes SLS AMG and my 2008 Mercedes SLR McLaren. So they're both going to go over to the Car Ninjas today to get an oil change and some other items. The Car Wizard is currently on a cruise in Alaska somewhere enjoying the yachting, so the Car Ninja is happy to step up and service these two cars for me, which are two very interesting pieces of Mercedes history, and both can be notoriously expensive to maintain, but in my opinion, they are so special and so amazing that they are certainly worth it. So today, we're going to service that, but also, let me give you a little tour, a little refresher on these two cars right here. But before we get into servicing these beasts that Mercedes dealers would want thousands to service, I'd like to thank ShipStation for sponsoring today's video. ShipStation provides integration everywhere you sell online, including Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Spotify, and more. You can manage every order from one simple dashboard, print shipping labels, easily compare rates and delivery times to optimize every shipment, and automate delivery notifications. And with enterprise solutions that make warehouse optimization easy, ShipStation scales when you do. And I know this personally because I use ShipStation to sell my merch, and they've always been easy and flawless for us. We've not only saved so much time with the simple automation of shipping, but also a lot of money. With industry-leading discounts, you'll never have to worry about overpaying for shipping. You can get up to 84% off USPS and UPS rates, and if that's not enough, use my promo code and you get ShipStation for free for 2 months. Over 130,000 companies have grown their e-commerce business with ShipStation, and 98% that stick with ShipStation for a year become customers for life. So spend more time growing your business when you automate shipping tasks with ShipStation. Go to shipstation.com/Hoovies today and sign up for a free 60-day trial. That's shipstation.com/Hoovies. And I kind of gave away something happening in the future. But anyway, back to servicing these. So the 2008 Mercedes SLR McLaren was an amazing collaboration between Mercedes and McLaren. Built at McLaren's F1 idle facilities in the UK, but Mercedes provided the design and the engine, of course. 5.4-liter supercharged, very simple in that sense, but the McLaren engineering in this car is pretty unreal. It's one of the first cars to have a full carbon fiber body, and everything about it is just really complicated. You can see the 5.4-liter V8 is mounted way back behind the front wheel, so it is sort of mid-engine, but that makes things very hard to reach. Like, very complicated, very bespoke-looking car, even though it was a full production Mercedes that they made thousands of. The coolest part has to be the gills coming out of the front fenders, though. The exhaust shoots out right around your feet, and the mufflers all right around here, which is why it has all the gills for the heat dissipation. But what I love about these is the Roadsters still retain the cool doors. This one, the dihedral butterfly doors that go up. You see the beautiful interior as well with the carbon fiber seats. Certainly way ahead of its time in a design sense, what we see with modern cars nowadays. This was, well, almost 20 years old, over 20 years old, this design, and I do think it is absolutely gorgeous. So while this SLR was built in England, the SLS AMG was the first car built by AMG and engineered from the ground up before they were modifying existing cars, but this was the first one they were able to make with a clean sheet of paper as a tribute to the legendary gullwing, hence these doors. But the Roadsters, you lose the gullwing, obviously, no roof, so it's just traditional doors, which is why I prefer the coupes on these. Under the hood is a 6.2-liter V8 engine, 563 horsepower, also mounted pretty far back. 563 horsepower on this one, 617 on the SLR, but its big advantage in the acceleration with the SLS, we have much newer technology here, a slush box, normal automatic on the SLR. This one, a dual clutch mounted in the rear, so the lightning quick shifts, and a high revving engine with this one, just quite a bit faster. But service-wise, this thing looks to be much simpler. The engine, everything a lot more accessible, oil filters, all that stuff. It's a dry sump. You can see the oil fills right here, as far as I know, but I'm not sure because I'm not a mechanic. That's why I want to take these to the car ninja today, have him look over and think which one he would rather be maintaining if he was owning them long term. I think I know the answer, but yeah, we'll see what he thinks. And of course, we get to drive these cars over there as well, and I'll give my driving impressions, what makes them different, what makes them similar, and why I love them so much. It's certainly much more fun to start up the SLR because you have this Top Gun-esque start sequence. Got Tom Cruise. Now the SLR was way more expensive than the SLS new, about double or a little more than double, and values today are more or less the same. These sell for a little bit under their MSRP still. The SLS, well, sells a little bit above, but the SLR does certainly feel quite a bit more special. I mean, not only is it the story, the first car built after McLaren F1 production, the collaboration, of course, but also the feel of it. It just feels, well, more like something way more exotic than the SLS. And these cars were mentioned in the same breath back in the day as the Porsche Carrera GT and the Ferrari LaFerrari, so it was in very good company with the poster cars of that era that are now multi-million-dollar cars. Meanwhile, this one still pretty reasonable, which is why I bought it. I felt like I needed to buy this thing while I still could, while they still were, I mean, relatively cheap. Still very expensive, the most car I've ever bought by far and a lot, but considering what its contemporaries have done, it's way more affordable. And here we go. Of course, you hear that supercharger whine from the V8, very similar to, say, an E55 or a CLS 55, maybe a bit louder with the side pipe exhaust. That is the big difference, though. You hear it coming out of the front. All of it comes out of the front rather than in the rear, hearing the supercharger whine and the exhaust in the back. It's all up front. It's just wild and crazy and amazing. Downsides, much more of a bigger boat-like feeling. The steering is nice that it's not overly assisted, but it does feel much larger, much more like a grand touring car rather than, say, a sports car. And then the brakes are from that era of Mercedes electronically controlled brakes, SBC brakes, well, they're a little finicky, and certainly they do feel a little bit weird. Yes, the SLR is much more of an experience, much more of a look at me kind of experience. Definitely a big flex. The SLS, I would say, though, a bit under the radar with the doors down and much more of a driver's car. So let's switch off to that and head over to the car ninjas. Yeah, immediately getting into the SLS, it just feels so much more lively and active. We are in a completely different era with Mercedes here, with the dual clutch, the first generation dual clutch, rather than a regular automatic. But with that dual clutch being early, it isn't a common issue with these things. It could blow at any moment and that be $30,000, $40,000 to replace. The one big gotcha on the SLS, but otherwise very solid, nice, reliable cars. Much more comfortable too. I did say the SLR is much more of a grand touring car. This one, well, it has much more dynamic and comfortable seats where I would rather take this car on a cross-country drive, but it's also just spectacular on the track as well. And then the noise. This one, well, just sounds like an American muscle car. This is the last of the normally aspirated V8s from Mercedes, and they sound oh so good. Of course, the newer ones with the deep V-turbo are much more powerful, and they do sound great, but not as good as this, and not the same experience. Oh, yeah. And this one's saying, service A1 exceeded by 700 days. So the computer says it's almost 2 years over its service date. I haven't driven it enough really for it to qualify for it. I'm sure I've had the oil change once, just the computer wasn't reset. But yeah, this thing needs oil change along with the SLR. I think it's saying about 100 days passed on the SLR. So let's go get that done and see what the car ninja thinks of both cars. Ninja!
Hey!
I'm waving at you with my Gullwing here.
Nice, nice.
So we've scheduled this service on both cars. They're both due, or this one's a year overdue actually, but I haven't put the miles on it.
Exactly.
But you ordered the filters for both, so we can do a service on both the SLR and the SLS. I'm curious which one you think is going to be a bigger pain in the butt to do an oil change. I know on that one, we lean towards that obviously because it can't go up on the lift per se because of the crazy underbody panel situation.
Yeah, we can use the flatbed.
Okay.
It's easy right there.
But I would love for you to look it over, see if you notice
definitely.
anything. See which one you think would be easier car to maintain or
Yeah,
cost of
definitely.
ownership, that
Yep.
kind of stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, the filter on that is an arm and a leg.
How much was it?
122.
For like just one filter?
One filter, yeah.
How much was the?
I think
AMG?
this one is like 22 or something.
Well, we're off to a great start there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, so I'll pull the one over to
Yep.
your alignment lift, so we don't have to put the wheels up in the air, and this one can, I guess, go on a normal lift, huh?
We can do both over there. It doesn't matter.
All right.
Yep.
So have you ever worked on an SLR before?
No, no.
Uh,
How many of those are in town, though?
Well, I drove one a long time ago, but it's long gone.
It's like British engineering.
Yeah, very, very British engineering
Oh
here,
my God.
with a lot of German components. So, yeah. Once upon a time, a spark plug change was an engine out, according to the warranty.
I can't tell that, but you can remove the intake and then you should be just fine.
Apparently, there's a workaround now, but I guess the back ones are very difficult to
I can
get
tell.
to.
I
Yeah.
can tell, but how many miles on this?
4,000,
Oh my God.
but it did kind of catch fire once.
What?
Yeah, in the trunk. Yeah, I had a little issue with the battery terminal and a fuse block and melted down, so that's why it has a little bit of a hickey on it, but still, it's never been wrecked. Wasn't really a fire, but does anything look easy?
Probably the oil change.
Maybe the headlights.
Or the headlights, yeah. Those
Yeah,
are super
headlights,
easy.
the ballasts are like cake.
Radiator's not too bad.
Yeah. Well, maybe an oil change is cake on these things.
It's not too bad. It's not
Okay.
too bad.
All right, but overall, just about anything else, you'd do it, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I mean, everything is doable. I mean, worst comes to worst, if we have to drop the engine, I have the table, so.
Yeah.
But nah, you wouldn't need that. I need to adjust a little bit.
Okay.
And this one is a dry sump, right?
I think so, yes. I just realized I'm looking up, and I can't believe that's my car, too. I blocked that out of my head, the X6M, that I own this piece of junk. What are you working on it?
Here and there when I have a moment.
Any idea why it still runs like crap?
Luckily, the customer is really good. He's not a pain in the ass saying
No.
like rush, rush, rush. No, he's like take your time on it.
I'd rather just forget that I owned it, honestly, but I'm blocking that out. Anyway, back to this. So, I see the oil fill.
But it's special oil. I never seen 550.
5W. So you don't have that?
No. So we need to go get some, but
All right. Well, maybe we can
Yeah.
move on to the SLS. You can call and get that delivered, I suppose, huh?
yeah.
All right. We'll be back. Looks a lot simpler, huh?
Yeah, way simpler. Yeah. Antifreeze is full. So I guess we'll lift it up, drain this one while the other oil comes in.
Okay.
We can drain them at the same time. It's no big deal, you know.
So what's this one take? 40? 5W40?
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay, so on that, you can use 550 or 540. They have them both on their books.
Mercedes will put 540 in it too?
According to their book, they say you can put either or.
So the same oil. I'll just do it. It's fine. It's a 5.4 liter V8. Why would it need different oil?
So, yeah.
Famous last words, I suppose. Yeah, it has the comments. There's like 2 SLR owners that are just freaking out right now. But
Shouldn't.
what difference would 40 versus 50 make?
It's by the temp, like how hot the weather is.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. Well,
So,
we'll send it with what you got. All
Yeah.
right.
it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Super clean.
Okay. Well, it has been a few years since this oil's been changed. It's been a few years since I've been under here, so anything new?
No, clean.
Nice.
Torque tube.
Yeah, it's missing its underbody panel, which is nice, so it makes things easier to see.
It breathes better.
Yeah. Yeah, probably all these electronics aren't supposed to be, but I'm not driving it down
And
dirt
then
roads
you're
or
missing
anything.
a brace for the cats from here to here.
Oh. Well, okay.
And then
There must be a drain for the sump, too, because it's already done there.
yeah.
But unlike the SLR, we have a rear-mounted dual-clutch transmission, which
Mhm.
makes a huge difference. Common weak point on these, but this one's still great. I mean, knock on wood, I suppose. Yeah.
Honestly, they're super easy to drop. When we did the other one, the GT, had to drop it down to do the CAD. So
Oh, they're easy to drop. They only cost $40,000 though.
I heard, yes.
Yeah.
More coolers here. Plenty brakes all the way around. Plenty tires.
Well, so I guess we have a second
Yep.
drain to hit, right?
Yeah. I need to take this cover out. So I'm just gonna drop this panel real quick. There you go.
There it is. But yeah, there's a little like rubber mount for this thing to wiggle
Yeah.
the reservoir. And without it having an oil pan, it's interesting to see, like, this is the timing chain cover here, just going to the
Yes.
block or whatever.
Yes.
If that were ever to leak, this thing between here, that'd suck.
Pretty much.
Engine out, I imagine.
Yeah. Well, no, there's plenty of room up front. Water pump is super easy to do.
Yeah?
Alternator, same thing.
Okay, well,
More panels.
yeah, where's the drain plug?
It's somewhere in here.
It's here it comes. Shouldn't be very heavy.
It's not the lightest either.
The drain plug was leaking a little bit, huh?
Just a little bit, but we have 1 and 2.
All right.
And then that's your $122 filter.
All right. But I mean, just look at this insane engineering of the exhaust here, which, I mean, just comes right out of the V8, but then out the side pipes there. Look at the welding and the insulation here.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks like something that would have been in the space shuttle. I mean, the quality is just ridiculous versus the AMG is a little more factory assembly line. And then this being milled.
This is so cool. Look at this, your steering shaft.
Oh, because it's so long, this nose, they had to do the shaft and then an extension. That's just the filter.
Yeah.
How's it looking?
It's huge. I mean, the oil looks like brand new.
Well, yeah, not 1,000 miles in 1 year and 100 days or whatever.
This is nothing. The other one is going to be a challenge.
Right.
Now the problem is I cannot reach. It's too high.
I'm holding it on this side so it doesn't fall.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you covering that up? It's okay. It's okay. Antifreeze is antifreeze. It's fine.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm ruining the pedigree of this car.
Now the car is cursed.
It's already caught fire once. So this is a little too British for you because
Yeah.
Wizard will do Land Rovers.
No.
When one shows up in here, you are in a properly bad mood.
Yeah.
The few that I've seen.
Yeah. Where's the start button on this crap?
Oh, he doesn't know how to start it. Think Top Gun. Missile, arm your missile on the shifter there.
Oh.
Yeah.
You think that will reset itself or don't clear it?
Should be fine. Good?
You're missing one tab.
Oh, I know, my cod piece is broken. Yeah,
The value just went down.
it still works. How many quarts?
9.
9 versus 8.75.
Well, 8.7 liters, so it's the same thing.
I don't, quarts, liters,
I need to take it to Europe more often.
oh, yeah, obviously. So, oil change cost though, how much do you think this one would be? I guess the filter is the big difference,
I
right?
feel there's way big difference.
But still, a couple $100 a car.
Yeah, well, not even that. But yeah, give and take.
So,
They're
basically,
cheap to maintain.
yeah, I mean, any, I think, good German independent could easily maintain both cars,
Oh, yes.
right? So really neither of them are totally awful maintenance nightmares, other than the parts cost. Like the transmission going out on this would be a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly.
Some things on that are unobtainium.
I think the training on that is cheaper.
Probably.
It looks like
It probably would be a
E-Class.
97 E320 transmission. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I should just keep both forever, right?
I would. Yeah, we'll take care
The
of
guy
it.
who doesn't like Mercedes.
Nah, I was just messing with you.
All right. Well, Johnny's very happy to be finished making a YouTube video because we're way past quitting time here. But yeah, I mean, both cars reasonable to keep going. They're still incredible machines. I feel like this is the era of car, honestly, to have before it got too electronically complicated. This car, any independent could keep it going forever, as Johnny has attested. So, thank you so much for watching.